and welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm Georgia, and I am so happy that you could join us today. Oh my goodness, well, it's Thursday and it's 3 p.m. So if you're live, welcome. You know, just a few things. Today we're going to do some Easter cards. Now we have an easy Easter card and we have a stepped up version of an Easter card. And let me show you. Here's our easy one that we're going to just stamp on the paper. And now this one's our stepped up one. And as you can see, we have kind of dimensionals. We have it stepped up with dimensionals. But before we get started, I always like to read a saying, right? And so here's our saying for today. Where there is hope, there is faith. Where there is faith, miracles happen. You know what? As long as we keep everyone in our prayers, miracles can happen, right? We know they can. And so I just think we need to all come together, work together so that we can get back to where we were, right? So let's just keep the faith and keep those miracles coming. So I am going to take us down to the design table so that we can get started. And there we have it. Now, remember I told you we were going to make that card. So here's the card we're going to make. This is the first one. This is the very simple one. I mean, it looks difficult because we're using some blends, right? But you're going to have so much fun making this card. I hope after we finish, you go make it. And remember, if you don't have this die cut, that's okay. You could use a square one, or you can use your trimmer and you can cut your own. But just get to crafting, right? My sister and I do this together, and you know what we say? We head to our crafting room, we start the music, and we leave our worries at the door, right? So that's what you need to do as well. So the first thing you're going to need is, I'm going to get this down so I don't get anything on my table. You need to cut you a card, and this is just a normal card. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And remember, all these measurements will be on YouTube probably tomorrow, so you can get them then. But you're going to have to cut just a border that you like, and then you're going to have to also punch out whether you want it to be a square or you want it to be an oval. Anything would be just beautiful, right? And then, of course, you're going to need a mat. You need a mat for the front, and you need a mat for the inside. And we're going to make this one landscape. We're going to do a little bit different design, so I think you're really going to like this one. The other one was portrait, but this one we're going to do landscape. So the first thing I like to always do is I like to just go ahead and get the inside laid down, right? So we're going to make sure we don't have any glue on the end of this, and I'm just going to use my Kalel glue and just get some glue down. Let's see, I don't think I opened it all the way. So as soon as you come on, if you just want to talk to each other or let us know where you're from, let us know if you've already made your Easter cards. We would love to chat. It makes it so much more fun, right? To know that you're out there. Now on this one, we're going to lay it down just like this because it's going to be landscape. And so we're going to go ahead and lay that down. Now, get that laid down. And we are using crushed curry as our actual cardstock. I just love that yellow. It's not too bright, you know, but it's so pretty. So we're going to get that laid down. Now, if you'll remember on this one, we put our flowers down here, right? Well, we're going to do it a little differently. You're going to see, I think you're going to like it. What we do need to do is we cut this strip and we need to go ahead and lay it down, right? So we're just going to put it in the middle and get it laid down with some glue. And like I said, I love that Kalel glue, and I get that from Crafter's Companion. So I usually, when I buy like 3-4 bottles so that I have enough, right? So we have that laid down. Now, on this one, we're going to actually kind of put it right over here. And you know, I want to show you this design because you can use this design and use it many different ways, right? You could turn it landscape, or you could also turn it portrait. So we're going to turn ours landscape. And I just want to give a big hi to Patricia. Welcome. So we're going to turn it landscape. And what we need to do is add our little flowers first. Now, I don't know if I told you the sets, the stamp sets that we're using. We are using Easter Promise. We're using these beautiful flowers, and we'll be using the cross, as well as these Easter lilies and this Happy Easter. And then we also have this one, just in case we want to use this Happy Easter, and it's called Welcome Easter. Now, we are going to take those flowers, and here they are. We're going to stamp them in green, and I'm going to go ahead and just use garden green. And we just thought we would do something a little different and do it landscape. So I'm just going to take it about right here, put it right at the bottom, and there we have it. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the other two. And what you need to do so that you don't stamp over these flowers is you need to mat it. And what I've done is mask it. Okay, what I've done is I have already cut it out. And you know all I used? I just used a Post-it note. And I stamped it and then I cut it out so that we would mask this part, because I want to go ahead and do the big flower, the big lily, right here in the middle. But I don't want to mess up my flowers, right? So we're going to get that. And then I'm just going to take off this mask, and I can reuse it, right? Because it's still sticky. And look, there we have it. So what I decided to do, since I have this card, I picked up these colors. So I'm going to be using Light Mango Melody. I thought they blended well together when I tried it. Light Poppy Parade. And this is Granny Apple Green Light, of course. And then we are going to use Light Cajun Craze. So now what I do is I just pick the darkest one, and I just use this edge, not the big edge, the blending one, but I just kind of go over this right here, where they already show you there's going to be some shading, right? They give you those lines. So it's kind of like helping you, right? How many of you like to blend? And remember, if you're catching us on the rebroadcast, good. Go ahead and make your comments. We just wanted to hop on today and share a little crafting with everyone. It is Thursday, getting close to the weekend, but you know, one day kind of turns into the other, right? Now I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to very lightly kind of go around it as well, because you don't want to blend too much. And these flowers are so small. So we're just going to go a little bit around, and then we're going to come in with our light one. And I just love the way these alcohol markers blend. Now, I would come in a little closer, and let me see if I can get it to come in close without, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the light color, and now I can come in with this big brush stroke, because I'm going to go over the flower and just lighten up where that dark was. And you know what you can always do, if it picks it up too much, you can always just go back over and go back in with the dark, which is probably what I'll do. That's why I like these blends. They really just, you can't mess up on these blends. Because they're alcohol markers, They just kind of lighten up after a few minutes. Now my sister is being the moderator today, so feel free to go ahead and comment and she'll answer any of your questions that you have while I'm over here making the card, right? So I'm going to come in with just a little bit darker. I can see that I need that right here. So I'm just going to kind of come in with some dark and maybe right there. Just kind of go over the tips just a little bit. I tell you, I just love blending. I just love it. And then we just go over again with our yellow. Now, I would do the same thing on the flowers that are right underneath it, right? Here's the beautiful flowers. Oops, there we go. Aren't they pretty? And I would do the same thing down here. Now, what I'm going to use is the Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to go over the stems. Just very lightly. Just kind of go over the stems a little bit. And then you can always go down here and go over the stems. And you can always use the other end, right? So that you can go in and get those detailed little lines. So we're just going to do that. And that's what you would do with your little stalks. Isn't that beautiful? Now I went ahead and I finished this one. But see, it's just like that one. But we just finished all the little flowers below. So we're going to go ahead and, I must have had some green on me. I'm not happy with that. So it picked up the green. You know what? I was gonna put it on the other side, but I'm gonna cover up that little green. For some reason, the stamp it got on my card. I'm not happy with that. So the other thing we need to stamp is we need to stamp Happy Easter. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the green to stamp Happy Easter because I really think that coordinates well. And I have it right here, and this is such a beautiful sentiment, isn't it? Oh my goodness, this handwriting is so pretty. And there we have it. Such a pretty font. I just love that font. And all you need to do is take your snips and then cut all around, right? Just follow the font and cut all the way around. Now, to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and I cut it out. But you can see how you cut it out, right? No problem. And by the miracle of video, look at that. So there you have it. So all we're going to do is we are going to put it just like this. We're going to put some glue, and I'm going to get this glued down. And this is our simple card. Such a simple decoration, but oh my goodness. Oh, I just think it is so pretty. And now we're going to put Happy Easter right here, and we're just going to glue it down. You could, if you wanted to, of course, you can, you could stamp it right there on the card. But you know what? I think we're going to raise this up just a little bit. So we cut it out. Still is a very easy card to make. And this design, you know what I like about this design is you can use it, the design itself, right? You can turn it portrait, landscape. You can use it for a happy birthday. You can use it for whichever card you want. But it's just a very quick card. I'm going to put Happy Easter right there. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now on the inside, we're going to stamp our message. And I think we'll go ahead and stamp it in green because we've been stamping things on green, right? So I'm going to just ink it up, and I'm going to stamp off right here to make sure that we have it. Yes. And we're just going to put it right in the middle, and we're going to hold it down so we don't miss any of the ink. And there we have it. Look at, so that's our first easy card, right? So easy. Just a little bit different than our other one, and we'll bring the other one in right at the end so that we can look at all 4 of the cards we're going to make. But right now, let's move into our stepped up version, okay? So here's the stepped up version. And as you can tell, it has several mats. We have this bottom mat where we used Best Dressed as the designer series paper, and then we brought in a white that we put on dimensionals, and then we cut out this purple, put an inside on it, put the strip. So it's a little bit more stepped up, more complicated because of all the things it has going on, but it does put together very quickly. So let me show you what we did. We're going to do one out of this beautiful Melon Mambo. Oh, isn't that a beautiful card? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this down right there first. So I'm going to use my Kalel, and I'm going to go ahead and get that glued down so that it can be drying, right? So we're going to get that. And now I want to show you what we did. We used this die set, and it's stitched so sweetly dies, and it comes in all different sizes. And what makes it so nice is it has a little stitching around the edges. So I think that's so nice. And you know what I do when I cut them out and I have all these extras? I just keep them right there in the packet. So I have it. So what you would do is you would just take out your paper and you would pick the size of the border that you want. And I just put it like this. And you know what I use? I use this painter's low tack tape so that I can tape it down. I don't know what you use. Do you use painters? Some people use Post-it notes. Is there anybody else out there that uses maybe anything else that would be good for us to use? And you just line it up perfectly like that. And then I just put it down just like that. And we run it through our Sizzix machine, and it comes out just perfectly. And look at the cute little stitch dies. Can you see that? See those stitch dies? Aren't they pretty? So pretty. So that's how you run it through. So the next thing we need to do is we need to cut our Best Dress, and that's just a normal mat. So remember, all these dimensions will be tomorrow in YouTube. Give me just a little bit of time to get it up and edit this video and get it back up. And you know, it's so hard. It's such a good feeling to hear all the positive stories that are going around. We actually have a lady in our neighborhood that is painting little rocks with little outfits of the doctors, the stethoscopes and the mask, and she's putting it in her tree. And if you have a doctor or an EMT or a nurse that you want to thank, she's letting you come by, get the rock, and then take it to the doctor. Of course, wearing your mask and gloves, because we do that. But that is so nice. And I think she got it from an idea where we have some other people in the community that are taking little rocks and they're painting our Zia symbol on it and different shapes and different things on the front of our rocks, and they're putting them all throughout because they know a lot of us are taking walks. And so you'll find a little rock that's painted. Oh, isn't that sweet? I think everybody should do those wonderful little things for everybody. So we put down our Best Dress. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love the Best Dress. And you know, on the other side is where you have the lipstick and the shoes, and I don't really use that side. I use the floral side because I think it's so pretty. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and put down our white piece. Now, on our white piece of paper, we're going to lift it up, and we are going to put it on dimensionals. So I'm just going to get some dimensionals, and I'm going to use quite a few because we want it lifted. And just going to get these, and this is our stepped up version. So realizing that it does have a lot of parts to it, but once you get everything cut out, it just goes pretty fast. And really, isn't that what card making's all about? It's happy therapy for us, right? So we don't want to rush through it. So what you need to do is just really make sure that you don't make it crooked. I made one crooked this morning, and I want to make sure it's not crooked, so it's not crooked. So the next thing we need to do is we need to lay down this border. And notice how we took a coordinating border from the green that you can see in that paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue that down. And we are getting ready to take our cards to the senior home so that they can give the cards out to the people that live there. So we have so many cards that we've made, and that's what we're going to do. So I know there's a lot of people out there crafting, and I'm sure you're already doing that, or you have friends and family that you want to give cards to. Now remember, this is what I cut out using those Stitch Sweetly dies. So on this piece of paper, we are going to set it up on dimensionals. So I'm taking some really high dimensionals, and we are going to put them on the four corners, and then I'm going to come back because I don't want it to get squished, right? And we're going to come back, and I'm going to put a smaller version, but of the same height, right there in the middle. Oops. He got a little bit too far, because what you don't want is you don't want to see it, right? So we have this right here. Now, you have to be really careful, so I'll try not to get my head in the view of the screen. We don't want that. Okay. So, oh, see the nice height that gave it? So pretty. Now, we cut a white one out because we don't want to see this, right? We want it to lay down right in the center. So, I'm going to get some other dimensionals, just some small ones, and I'm going to put them right on the corner. And these aren't as high as the other ones that I had. So we'll just get these little mini ones, and we'll put those right there. And it's just amazing to see all the cards that people are making. Oh my goodness. I just love all the cards, and everybody's on YouTube, right? That's wonderful. I love it. So here's our card. Now we're just going to lay it right down, and so that we don't get our fingernail polish on it, because you know that fingernail polish really does come off on white paper. I just use my Take Your Pick tool to make sure that it's staying underneath that mat. And now what I need to do is I just need to take a piece of paper, and I'm going to stamp this flower again with, I think with our green, and then we're just going to color it. So, here we go. Is that not a beautiful stamp? I want to show you that. Look at that detail. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh, I love working with these blends with these kind of flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the darker like I did, and I'm just going around the bottom, and I'm picking up those lines right where they show us. That's kind of where there should be some shadows. So I'm just picking those up, and I'm kind of going around the edge too at the top, because I like to do that. And then I'm going to come in with a much lighter color, and I'm going to use the blending tool, and I'm just going to go over. And it's going to lighten up the darker color that I used. And remember, I'll have all these colors and measurements for you on YouTube. And I just hope that I can invite you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that. We would love to have you on our channel. And remember, because it's alcohol, it will make the shadows pick up. And then you just come back in with your Granny Apple Green, and I use the tool that's much thinner so that it doesn't bleed, and I just I just trace over it, over each line, and then all you have to do is cut it out. Well, fortunately, I have one that looks exactly like that I cut out. So, what we want to do is we want to set this up and put it right in the middle. So I'm going to use some dimensionals, and we're going to get that set up, and we are almost done. I'm just going to take my pick on this. Here we have it. And I'm going to just put this right in the center. And now we need one more thing. We need to put our Happy Easter right across this, don't we? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper, and I'm going to just get a beautiful little Happy Easter banner right on the front. Now I'm going to close this because you know me, I will put my fingers right in it, right? Ugh, we can't have that. So what I'm going to use is my trimmer. Just going to bring my trimmer in. I love my trimmer. And let's see if we can't get this right where we need it. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut this off just a little bit. And okay, and you know what we do? You can make your own banners, but what I like to do is I like to get this label and I pull it right to where the writing stops, and then and it makes a banner for me. I just punch it and it makes a banner. I like that. Now you can make your own, of course. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up on dimensionals. This is completely full of dimensionals, isn't it? That's okay, though. I like dimensionals, and you know what? When you set it up on dimensionals, I think it really adds to it. So we're just going to put this right here, right there. And now I need to stamp on the inside, and I'm going to stamp using my soft suede. I'm going to stamp the message right there on the inside. And let's see, right there. And just hold it down. Oh, I love that. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the cross, and I'm going to put it right underneath it. Just a lovely cross. So pretty. Oh, and there we have it. Now I'm going to close this up. And here is our stepped-up version. So let's have a review of what we did. So here is the card that we brought on to show you. This is just a very simple card, just everything glued down, did a little bit of blending, but yet so pretty, right? And then we turned this one landscape and used pretty much the same design, right? But we turned it landscape, cut this out, and set it up on dimensionals. But yet so pretty, but it does look different, doesn't it? Now, we showed you this one that we did. We used all the purples, and we also put the flowers down here as well. And we put our saying on the inside. This one is a little different. It's not that hard. It's just all this is cut out. Once you get this cut out, it's just a matter of putting it all together, right? They turned out really nice, I think. And you know what? It's so relaxing, right? Well, thank you so much for sharing your afternoon with me on a Thursday afternoon. We just appreciate your time so much. Go out and have a fantastic weekend. Be safe. Stop the spread and take care of yourselves and your family. And we will see you in the next video.